I'm going to show you how to evaluate NFTs very quickly in the aftermarket. And this is very important because there are just way too many projects in the NFT space for us to do a deep dive into all of them. So the goal here is to look at projects very quickly, evaluate them very quickly, put them through a funnel, and for the projects that make it to the other side of the funnel, that is when we do the deep research. So we're going to do this using Ethereum NFTs on OpenSea. And we're going to use Nifty League Degens as an example. And what we do with this project, you can do with any other project on OpenSea. So let's say you heard about 20 different projects, which we know we just don't have the time to look deeply into all of them. We're going to first put them through a funnel. Then we do the deep research. So the first thing I want to do is find the project and check the average wallet ownership. And the way you get this is by dividing the amount of items by the amount of owners. And with Nifty League Degens, the average wallet ownership is a little bit above 2, and this is good. I said in a previous video that I try to stay with projects with 4 max, so 4 or under average wallet ownership. But since I made that video and this space becomes even more saturated, I am now looking at projects that are at 3, 2, or even below. There are projects that are even below 2. If we look at the last 7 days top trading volume NFTs, we can see Doodles is a little over 2. Jungle Freaks is under 2. Very good wallet ownership. Kaiju Kings under 2. Very good wallet ownership. But wallet ownership alone doesn't tell you if a project will be amazing in the future, because if we look at Mechaverse, they had very good wallet ownership, yet Mechaverse has not been doing great lately. Because what we're doing in this video is just going through a funnel. You might go through everything we're going to speak about in this video. It looks great, it makes it to the other side, and then you do the deep research and you find problems with the project. So this is the first thing, wallet ownership, and it is something that can change in the future. If I see in the moment that the wallet ownership is at maybe 5 per wallet or 7 per wallet, not something I want at the moment, but it could change in the future. The next thing I want to look at is to see how many of the total NFTs are being listed for sale. So with this example, there are 9.9K items and a total of 1,600 listed for sale. This is pretty good. What would not be good is, let's say there was 9.9K items and 5,000 were listed for sale. This is a bad sign. This shows us that the current owners, they don't want to hold. They don't want to be part of that community or that project. So if we have a project, for example, with 5,000 NFTs and 200 are listed for sale, this is a good sign. But if we have 5,000 NFTs and 3,000 are listed for sale, this is not a good sign. And then following that, we want to also check to see how thin is the floor. Are the floor prices for the NFTs moving up in increments? For example, if we look at Nifty League Degens, we can see it's 0.32, 0.324, 0.33, 0.34, 0.34, 0.35. So it's moving up, but in very small increments, which is better than a project that is completely flat. If I see a project where all 6 NFTs on the floor are listed at the same price of 0.32, not a good sign. But the bigger the increments, the better. For example, if we have a project that's 0.32, and the next one is 0.4, and the next one is 0.45, and the next one is 0.47, this is a very good sign. Also, this is something that could change in the future, but at that moment, it's not something that I would like to see with a project. The next thing I want to look at, or that we want to look at, is volume traded. And a good sign for an NFT project in the aftermarket is when it has more than 1,000 Ethereum traded. Does this mean the project is going to moon? Absolutely not, but it is a good starting point. So 1,000 Ethereum or more, and you will have projects that are under 1,000 Ethereum that will do very well in the future. Eventually they will get to that mark and they will have increased volume traded. And also when we look at volume traded, we want to check to see how often is the NFT being traded. If an NFT is being sold every minute, very good sign. If an NFT is being sold every 2 to 3 hours, not a very good sign. So if we look at Nifty League Degens, we can see that one was sold 4 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, 12 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago. So this isn't frequent every minute or every 3 minutes, but it's still pretty good, right? This is not a project at least that is being traded every 2 hours. Because when you have a project that is being traded every 2 hours, but it has a pretty cheap price, maybe it's 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, this means the current price that is being listed for by the sellers is not what the buyer is willing to pay, right? They're not coming to an agreement. So if you see an NFT that is not being traded often and it is on more of the affordable side, the price is currently likely too high and it will likely come back down. But this is different than the big blue chip NFTs. The big blue chip NFTs such as Bored Apes or CryptoPunks, those don't trade often because number one, not many people have the money to buy them. And number two, the current owners don't even want to sell them. So that's the exception. But for these more affordable projects, if they are being sold every 2 to 3 hours, at least at that moment, maybe not the best time to get in, the price will likely come down. So let's say you go through these three things, right? You check the wallet ownership, you check the floor price, you check the volume traded. It all looks good. It makes it through your funnel. Then that's when we start the deep research. That does take time. For example, this project, Nifty League Degens, this is a gaming platform. We have other projects that have a DAO, or they have a token coming, or a specific utility. That actually takes a long time, right? That takes hours and hours and hours. But if we do that for every single project we come across, we will just run out of time. So this process makes it more efficient. It weeds out the bad projects, gives us a few or a select amount of projects that we do a deeper dive into. And if you're sick of paying high gas fees for Ethereum NFTs, but you want to continue using Ethereum, I definitely would recommend you go ahead and watch this video on how to use Immutable X and pay no gas fees for NFTs. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.